Hello and welcome to an episode of the Anthropocene reviewed ReNewted. I am your host Newt Start, and on today's episode we shall be talking about Super Mario Logan, or as he's now known, SML. It's hard to really gauge how many subscribers Super Mario Logan has or has had, as I could tell you right now that he's at 9 million, but he's not actually. Before he used to have 24, 10... With multiple backup channels and deleted channels, SML has constantly had multiple subscriber counts to the point where it's kind of hard to find out how many he's truly had over the years. But regardless of all that, I used to watch Super Mario Logan back when I was younger. I guess you start saying SML. Or as it should be called, Super Marvin Logan, but more on that later. It all started with a channel made by a guy named Logan 30 Acre. Or 30 Care. Logan decided to make some good old classic content for him and his friends to do, and after suffering with a lot of illnesses and family stuff, Logan's content got really popular, very popular even, and to the point where a lot of people of my generation are at least aware of Super Mario Logan, or at least know a character from Super Mario Logan. If I were to show people a photo of Jeffy to my friends, they'd probably know who Jeffy is and where he's from. And based on accounts from, oh yeah, I used to watch them, from former people, to, as my friend Lo-Fi said, oh yeah, him. Super Mario Logan has sort of left an impact on the internet that I can't really deny. It is currently, I think, one of the, well, not really, well, technically, yes, it is the longest running, but also no, because if you go off of YouTube standards, Luigi Fan 00001, who is the GOAT, by the way, and who has a 5 out of 5 seafoams from me, definitely has lasted longer, because at least he didn't have to delete a channel. He had to rename videos, but not really an entire channel. SML had to go through multiple changes and everything else, to the point where a lot of their content even reached Good Morning America, and even Nintendo themselves gave them a cease and desist, where they could no longer use the characters anymore from Mario. No Mario characters could be in any of their videos or their thumbnails. Which, you know, I'd say it's really sad that they can't do what they used to, but there's multiple theories saying that Logan did it just so that he could get more money, and that the cease and desist was faked. But there's not enough evidence, and that 3 out of 5 seafoams theory is kind of irrelevant to the topic of this video. When I was a kid, I used to watch Super Mario Logan. I remember my first video from them, the first one I watched, came up on my recommended when I was watching Smosh Games play Mario Party 10. And it was the one where Junior went to go get a Happy Meal. And he woke up Chef Pee-Pee, that's his actual name, to take him at 12 o'clock to get a Happy Meal. And as a kid, it was the funniest thing ever. And as an adult, I could still say that there are some good jokes in there, but as a kid you don't really recognize, at least with Logan's content, how bad, you know, the humor has aged, or how bad it is. Let's take an example of Jeffy, who is meant to be an example of someone who is, for lack of a better term, as I don't know what Logan's trying to go for, a representation of a disabled character, but very badly. A lot of people's first experience with mental disabilities might be with Jeffy. And that kind of scares me, that there's some kids out there that think that some people who are autistic or have learning disabilities are like Jeffy. Jeffy isn't a good representation of a character, but at the time, as a kid who didn't know any better, I thought it was the funniest thing ever, Jeffy. I know a lot of people growing up with Junior hated Jeffy, but I didn't. I wasn't one of those Jeffy haters. I embraced Jeffy. Because it really was a change from the formula. Because every day I would wake up, not really wake up, well, on the weekends wake up, but every day after school I would come back and see a brand new Super Mario Logan video, or go back to watch an old one. In a way, it was kind of beautiful, you know? That's a childlike wonder, anticipating a brand new video from a YouTuber you really liked. But this isn't like other YouTubers where you found out that this isn't like other YouTubers where, you know, the YouTuber that you watched was cool and then had a fall from grace. Logan consistently stayed the same with his content. And then there was the racist caricatures or characters, for lack of a better term. Jackie Chu, their Asian teacher, was just a hard stereotypical Asian character. But as a kid, I didn't recognize that. I just thought he was funny. Black Yoshi was a representation of bad, of people of color. With fried chicken, Call of Duty, the way he said things, purple Kool-Aid, all this sort of deals. But as a kid, I thought it was the funniest thing ever. Because that's what I thought was funny. I've grown older and realized that Black Yoshi and Jackie Chun, who are still in the current videos, but Black Yoshi is called Dougie and is now a black dinosaur or dragon, I don't really know, still is there. Heck, when they flipped over the roles of the characters in some other episodes, Black Yoshi didn't stay the same color of his skin, but he became white and became a stereotypical white person. And even as a kid, that confused me. I didn't find it funny, I was just confused that this was Black Yoshi's opposite. As I genuinely thought that Black Yoshi's opposite as a kid would have been just the opposite of him, which was just educated and everything else, not a white Yoshi, or I guess a white dragon when they redid the episode. Again, as a kid, you don't really question a lot of things, but when you do, you know something's up. And as a kid, I questioned Black Yoshi because it just didn't seem right at the time. You know, it just didn't seem right that they would make him white. Regardless of all this, though, you don't really question things as much as a kid. And I'm starting to see why a lot of people and a lot of parents are concerned for what their kids are watching. But my parents didn't fully survey me when I was on YouTube. Sure, they said they did, but they never knew I watched Super Mario Logan. And even if they did, they would probably find Black Yoshi funny. And that just said a lot, you know? That we as kids just constantly raise up and think that certain things are funny because the culture around us thinks it's funny. I never really bought up Super Mario Logan when I went to middle school, when I was still watching it. Because it just felt weird to say it in a classroom full of people. Especially when you were the outcast already. I already felt weird. I still constantly watched them, and I watched them all the way to 9th grade. Eventually I just stopped watching them. I don't know why. But when revisiting them, thinking that they would be good, maybe that they improved, so much has changed style-wise, but humor-wise, it's still the same type of jokes. They don't use Black Yoshi as much. They still use Jackie Chun because he's a teacher. One episode they had him choke on an egg roll. But regardless of all this, I don't think that with good caution I can go back to SML. But that doesn't mean I didn't have good experiences with them as a kid. But those experiences, upon reflection, are bad experiences. Maybe we shouldn't take a bad experience and make it a good one. But in a way, experiences are always going to be mixed. There never is just one right or wrong way to experience something, or a correct way that we viewed something. Because life isn't black and white. Life is just an entire color pool. Some days it could be maroon or blue or red. There never is a black and white experience, a good or bad experience sometimes. Because we might not know that the experience we had as a kid was a bad one, or the experience that we had as an adult was a good one. But Super Mario Logan, despite it all, gave me good experiences as a kid. And I can't deny them that. But I can also not deny the blatant racism, ableism, and many, many other jokes that they've made. Such as one where they made a joke about being a pimp. I can't really deny those bad parts of the experience. But as a kid, they were great experiences. I give Super Mario Logan 2 Seafoams out of 5. Thank you for listening to this episode of the Anthropocene Reviewed ReNewted. We'll see you on the next one. And remember to stay safe out there. Have a good day, folks.